Go in. You can't have your... Here, we'll go this way.
Okay.
You want to see? I'm going to go for like 20 minutes. I'm joking. Put that hand down there. Just down there.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. You laughed, but some of you met my mother. I want to start by talking about something that was a part of our family tradition for Holy Week. On Good Friday, we may be the only family in the world for which this is true. One of the things we did on Good Friday is we listened to the entire soundtrack of Jesus Christ Superstar. So, being the youngest of the family, I have no memory of not doing that because it started before I was born. And I don't know if you care for the musical or the show or the album itself, but it's a huge, huge piece of my faith. And some people hate it. That's fine. But in part why I'm a priest is that, in fact, I was listening to it driving here. You know, the album was recorded in 1970. If you did not know, it was recorded with no intention of it actually being produced as a show. That wasn't their thought. It was, Ian Head from Deep Purple sang Jesus, and Ian. Where are my Deep Purple fans? Gillan, thank you. Murray Head, who sang the song One Night in Bangkok, for those of you old enough to remember that. He played Judas. If you did not know about the album, though, it was the highest selling album in 1971. More than the Stones, Led Zeppelin, Rod Stewart. Carole King won the Grammy that year, but way outsold it. It was just considered an amazing experience for people of something, whether or not they were people of faith. And so I grew up with this song, and I remember the first time I got to see the show when I was a little bit older, they had added a song. And as a purist, I didn't like it at all. But what happened to Andrew Lloyd Webber and Tim Rice is they had to confront something. Because it was a rock opera, and it really was just focusing on the last week of his life, there was no resurrection scene. You may know this. That's why some Christians hate the show. It had no resurrection. It just ends with the crucifixion. And so when they went to make it into the movie with Ted Neely and Carl Anderson, they said, we have to add this song. And it had to acknowledge there's an emotional arc in each of us, and that the audience needed a space for regret, and it needed a space for longing. Regret and longing, it needed that. And so they wrote that song. It's done right after Peter denies Jesus. And it's Mary, Magdalene, and Peter that sing it. Could we start again, please? The whole thing's going up in flames. Makes me emotional thinking about it. Could we start again, please? I've been living to see you, dying to see you, but it shouldn't be like this. This was unexpected. What do I do now? Could we start again, please? And Easter is the ultimate answer from God saying, yes, we start again. Yes, we start again. This is a Jubilee year, the Pope said. And that means some things for us as believers. That means that for a church, we're called to renewal. For people with relationships, we're called to seek forgiveness. Right? The Jubilee year, I think often people think in individual terms, like forgiveness of debt, setting free the captives, proclaiming the good news. Absolutely. But what does that mean for us as individuals? What about our community wounds? Because it is a communal jubilee. It is a global jubilee. What about the wounds in our community? What about families that are carrying old hurts? What about hearts that are just growing tired? It's a jubilee. That's why I'm making such a big deal about our joy. Some of you know a few years ago I did this. I said, we've got to testify to that this is different. That it means something different. And so when I got up this morning, I said, I'm going to do it again. So if you don't know me well, I don't part my hair this way. It's the exact opposite way, and it feels wrong. I'm not wearing black. I'm wearing blue. I'm wearing a green t-shirt underneath. I got my Easter socks on, my brown shoes, my brown belt, my gray pants. I want in every way to be communicating this day is different. Right? In the Passover, our Jewish brothers and sisters say that. That's how it begins. The Seder meal begins with the youngest person asking the oldest person, why is this night different from any other? And then the story is told of the Passover. And we have a bit of a similar tradition here. What's so special about this day? This is the day that we can start again. And maybe we ask ourselves what it is that we need to begin again anew. What is it that we need to do? Do we need to be focused on forgiveness, even where it seems impossible? Do we need to be people of joy in how we worship? What are we communicating to others about what we say we believe? What about mercy? Very critical to the Jubilee year. And then hope. This is a year of hope. The reading that Pope Francis put with this year of hope was Paul in Romans chapter 5 saying, not only that, we boast in our sufferings. Why do we boast in our suffering? Because suffering produces endurance, endurance produces character, character produces hope, and hope does not disappoint. And hope isn't a feeling. I think things will turn out well. Hope is a virtue. It's the steel that God put within our soul. And it's not just that God allows a new start, a new beginning. He initiated one in the resurrection. He didn't just say, yep, you can start again. It wasn't an intellectual assent. It's that he said, let me show you why and how it's so important. That our worst moment of humanity, when we said to love, we don't want you, and we as humanity put love to death, God just said, I'm going to use that to initiate something I know you're going to need. You're going to have regret. Who among us hasn't longed for that? Oh, I need a do-over. I need a mulligan. I need to start over. And in the person of Jesus, in that initiated moment from God to us. And again, it's not just that he let him die and rise again. It's that he returned to us. That he returned to this world. Otherwise, then it doesn't matter what we do down here. If he didn't return to this world, then it doesn't matter. We just need to wait it out. Go into the 2-minute drill. That's all. We just got to wait it out. But what we do here matters. What we do here at St. John the 23rd matters, and what we do in this world matters. And so as Peter in that moment, right as he denied him, he'd been warned and he still did it. That beautiful song, could we start again, please? The line he sings is, I think you've made your point now. You've even gone a bit too far to bring the message home. This is all very frightening. And before it goes too far, let us start again, Peter sings. In this Easter moment, in this Eucharist, God initiates that for us and says, yeah, let's start again. Let's take this new day, this new dawn, and start again. We've received God's forgiveness at the very beginning of this liturgy. And we know that God doesn't come to us to scold, he comes to us to renew. So whatever energy it is you bring to this liturgy, and you may be sitting there as I stop the psalm and saying to yourself, dude, I don't have it right now. I'll give you 2 things. This comes out of the 12 Steps program, number 1. Fake it till you make it. You know? And then something I say to young men, anytime I work with young men in a group, it's true for young women too. I will act as I wish I felt. I will act as I wish I felt. You know what's funny? I don't know about you. It always takes me there. It always takes me there. When I'm down, when someone's got me upset, and then someone comes to me in the minister role, and they're like all excited, and I just go, I wish I felt that way. I'm going to act that way. I'm going to act as if I'm joyful. And I join into their joy because that's what God can do for us. The same love that conquers sin and death is the love that's calling us to be people of this Jubilee year. And when we need to, just to turn to Jesus and say, can we start again? And the resurrected Christ says, yes, you can. May God be praised.